as well. So great. So what I'm going to tell you guys tonight that's in the process of writing will be, after you're done writing, the steps you need to take to actually publish your book. So me, myself, I wrote my first book 2 years ago in 2015. It is titled Girl Talk. I actually have a copy of it right here. This is the little bookmark that comes with it. I have like customized bookmarks to come with each book. Really cute, right? And this is a book I wrote all by my little self. I was in college, I think, 20 years old, but then I turned 21 2 years ago. It has, I think, 25 chapters. I look at the table of contents just to be sure. But yeah, it has about 25 chapters in the entire book. So it's pretty thick. It's a pretty thick book. As you can see, it is a paperback. And we'll get into pricing and printing and everything, but doing a hardcover is much more expensive. So it is a paperback book. Why I wrote my book, I will start there. So as I just stated, I was in college when I wrote my book. I was really young, about 20 years old, when I got the idea to write my book. And kind of what happened is when you go to college, you just notice what's normal to you, or the way that you were raised is not how everybody else was raised. Or when you just go away from home, period, and just meet different people outside of how you've been raised in your normalities, kind of. So I'm trying to figure out like the best way to say certain things. So yeah, so I went home and I just saw that the way that the girls carried themselves at my school, or just the way the young women was carrying themselves in general in the college atmosphere, was just totally different of how I was raised and what I was taught. And it wasn't because they didn't care. It wasn't because they didn't love themselves or anything like that. I just started to notice that they didn't have certain people in their lives to teach them certain things, and they were kind of like the blind leading the blind. I was fortunate enough, I have a very close relationship with my dad, and my dad is very raw, blunt, straight to the point. So when it came to men and relationships and things like that, I had already a male figure that kind of, like they say, put you up on game or whatever. So yeah, I just had close friends and people I knew. And I just felt kind of sad and really bad about the things that I saw them doing and how they let men take advantage of them and just not valuing themselves and having self-worth. So I thought to write a book. And the crazy thing about it is, my brand is Queendom Dynasty. Everybody knows me as Queendom Dynasty. And as a business coach now, Queendom Dynasty actually started with self-publishing Girl Talk. When I put out Girl Talk, even though I knew I wanted to self-publish and I didn't want to go through a publisher, I wanted everything to be so perfect for this book. Like, I just showed you guys the book. As you can see, it's just very professional. I even have bookmarks to go with it. I wanted everything to be perfect. So to go into my perfection, I wanted an actual company to still put out my book. And that company, I filed it as an LLC, which was Queendom Dynasty LLC. So Queendom Dynasty actually did not start with a business course or anything. It started with me putting out Girl Talk and publishing my book. So that was just the way I did it. Of course, to publish a book, you don't have to be a company. You can publish a book as an individual. That's just what I wanted to do. I just wanted to make it so official. Yeah, back to the reasons why I wrote the book, and then I can get into how I put it out there. That's really why I wrote it. I wanted something to encourage women, especially young girls, really young girls, to teach them about self-worth, to teach them to value themselves. But I did not want to do it in a way as I was acting like your mother. I didn't want it to do it in a preachy way. I wanted to do it in a way where you still was going to read the book, you still was going to be entertained, and it was going to be good and juicy. So honestly, my book, Girl Talk, if you haven't read it before, Girl Talk is really like college love and hip hop. Like, it is crazy. It's really crazy, but it's real. It's not about me. It's nonfiction. It's not real. I think that's nonfiction, right? Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. But it's not real. It's not about me. It's not about anybody I know. It's just inspiration. Some things are completely made up. Some things are taken from here and there, what I've seen other girls went through, what I went through. But it's really just following a journey of 4 girls. They're very close best friends, and the guys that they're dating in college, and it's just following their journeys. Even though I write the book, like I said, in an entertainment perspective, because I wanted it to be funny, I wanted it to be real, I wanted it to be raw. I feel like my point was at the end of each chapter, and especially at the end of the book, I drew in the main point to teach a lesson. So that's how I wrote my book. I drew in points to show you what girls went through and why you shouldn't go through that and why you shouldn't allow that. So that's all about my book. The process of writing it. When I decided I wanted to do this, if you know me, then you know I am a person, once I decide I want to do something, I just do it. I don't care about what anybody say, how anybody feel. If I want to do it, it's going to get done when I want it to get done, how I want it to get done. But it was kind of like a blessing. I was following, well, I came upon this lady from Miss Bling Miami page. They were doing a call-in, like a business call, but it was about how to self-publish your book and make money being a publisher and selling books. And she had a guest speaker, Miss Bling Miami, so I already followed Miss Bling. I love her. The lady name is Tiffany Montgomery. I don't know if anybody know of her, but that's her name. So I got into the call and I listened, and it really, really inspired me. At the end of the call, of course, they sold us like the course. At the time, I wasn't in the position to buy the course, or probably I could buy it, but I just wasn't serious enough to buy it. So I let that course go, whatever. But that was more of like a business type course. A couple months later, with her other business partner, and that's a woman named Azarel, and she's actually a publisher, a movie producer. She does a lot. So with Azarel, her and Tiffany got together and they put out a program called the Bestsellers Project. If you guys want to look it up, that is a great program. They were promoting on Instagram, and I signed up. They did like a conference call where they promoted it, talked about it. Once they started talking about the money, I was definitely all in. Plus, I already wanted to write a book, and just having my own book and being an author just felt great to me. I always used to write stories like all the way back in middle school, and I used to read like all them urban fiction books. I know y'all probably did too. But yeah, so I just wanted to write my own book. The course was a little over $300, but as you can see, it was well worth the investment because it taught me everything I could possibly learn about self-publishing a book. And then it also gave me some ideas about putting my book out there and marketing it. Now, after spending money, and this is why it's so important to invest in yourself. If I did not make that investment in myself and spend that money, the kind of like the flame, the fire would have never been up under my behind to get this book done. I was like, I done paid $300 and something for this course. I'm putting out this book so I can make a return back on my investment. The course was my investment. Are you serious? I'm sorry, guys. I don't know who's calling me. Sorry. The course was my investment, and I needed to make a return back on my investment, and that was actually publishing my book and selling my book, right? So I was very determined, very encouraged to make money. So I actually self-published my book in 3 months from the beginning to the end. Once I got done with the course and I did all my studying, I just started writing. What really made me stick to my 3-month goal was what I learned in that class. And a main thing that they said was writing your book, you have to think of it as a job. So if you have your pen and paper out right now, write that down. It is one of your jobs. You cannot think of it as, oh, this is just something I'm working on the side, or oh, this is just a dream, a hope. No, it is one of your jobs. And that's how I had to think about it, meaning with a job, you have a time where you have to be there, like a schedule, correct? So I had to put myself on a schedule, and that's what I did. So I am a night owl. Everybody's different. If you're more energetic during the morning, if you're more energetic after school or after work, find the time that you work best. And for me, I'm a night owl. Now, I was still in school, so I had to factor in my schoolwork, of course, and writing papers and studying. So I knew I was a night owl. I knew if I did my schoolwork first, I probably wasn't going to write anymore with my book, because after doing schoolwork, I don't feel like writing, typing, nothing. So what I did was set my schedule from 10 to 12, and then I probably did my schoolwork from like 12 to 2, 3 in the morning. But yeah, from 10 to 12. So every night, 10 to 12, I would write. or it would either be 10 to 12 or at least get one chapter done. So whichever came first, whether it was 2 hours hit or I got a chapter done. Then I set a date. My date was July 30th. Once you set that date, that is your deadline, honey. That means no matter hell, sleet, snow, rain, no matter what happens, you have to be done by the end of that date. So I'm not perfect. I did not write every night. I slacked up sometimes. When it was about 2 weeks out to that date, honey was like, I had to get the book done. No matter what, by July 30th, yeah, it was July 30th, that book had to get done, honey, like no matter what. So that's the main thing of getting your book done. It is a job, and you need to be serious about it, and you need to make yourself focus. All outside distractions, all that is just out. When I used to write every night, like I said, I had that set time. I locked my door. I cut my phone off. Nothing or nobody could distract me. No boyfriend could call me. I was roommates with my best friend. So I lived with her. And she knew. She would text me before coming upstairs to my room and be like, are you writing? Because she knew if I was writing my book, she could not come in my room right now and talk about hoop de hoop or whatever else. So you have to be serious about it. Set that deadline and just do it. So something that I did actually before I start writing the book is I shot the book cover. So the photo that you see, this young lady, her name is Liz, by the way. She's a model in Tampa. I love her. And she is so beautiful. But yeah, and why I shot my book cover, and designed my book cover before I actually finished writing, because that is another thing to make sure that you get it done. Then you brought your book to life already before you're even done writing. You have that visual. So I saw my book cover, my graphic designer put it all together, the money I spent on the photo shoot, all these things are factors to motivate you to write your book, right? So I saw my book cover, my book was already done, and I have to finish this book because now this beautiful book cover needs pages. So shooting your book cover, or if you don't want to do a photo shoot, that's fine. Designing your book cover, whatever you're going to do, get that done like in the beginning, because you need to bring your vision to life, your ideas, your vision. You need to bring it to life. And I promise you, it really does help. Once that book cover was done for me, it was real. Like it was real. And I had to finish writing and get this book out because now my vision has came to life. Like I can see it. It feels real to me. Everything is real to me. So think about what you want your book cover to be. For my ladies who said that they're in the process of writing, like Maggie, like Tiara, if you guys haven't designed your book cover yet, met up with a graphic designer, did a photo shoot, think about what do you want it to be from down to the T. I knew what theme I wanted. I knew the look of the type of girl I wanted on my cover. Like I knew everything. So really get that done as well. Next, you set your deadline to write. You set yourself on a schedule, and then you have your book cover and everything. Now you need to set your launch date. Now it's all about marketing and things like that, correct? Now, you don't have to really get into it now, but you need to make a plan. So I have my deadline date to finish writing, but now I need to have my launch date. I did my launch date in September, and why, even though I stopped writing in July and I didn't launch till September, this is why. One, you want enough time to create buzz. Two, you need to edit, and editing can take a little while because you need someone else to edit, so then you're on their time. They can tell you this time period and take longer, but then also you may not like that edit. You want to go to another editor, or it just takes a while because your editor can send it back to you and literally scratch out an entire chapter or entire section of your book and say this does not work. So then you need time to get it together. So from your deadline time into your launch date, give yourself some time. I gave myself about 2 months. Give yourself some time. It can be edits with your cover. You can change your mind on that. It's some filing that you have to do. You need to file for a copyright. I did that online. So before you publish your work and put out a book, it has to be copyrighted. Where's the little copyright page? You have to put it inside your book as well. So as soon as you come in, it says copyright 2015 by author Dinasty D. Brown and all the legal stuff. You have to put who your book cover is designed by. I have his name in there. I have to put my ISBN number in there, information to contact me. So those are some things you have to do with your copyright. Like I just said, you have to have an ISBN number. You can buy that online as well. What an ISBN is, and I hope you guys are taking notes, it's this barcode. Where is it? Okay. The little numbers in the barcode, this is kind of like the Book World Tracker social security number type thing, right? But you got to have a barcode, you got to have the price of your book, all that in your ISBN, and you purchase that online as well. Somebody wrote a question. Do not wait until the book is done to market. I say, no, you don't have to wait till the book is done to market. That's why I said I gave myself a deadline when I stopped writing to when I actually launched the book to start building buzz. I did my photo shoot in May. I remember the end of May or like early June. And I posted videos from the photo shoot when I was shooting the book cover, just saying, you know, you guys get ready. I got something coming up for you guys. At nights when I was writing, I'll post pictures of my screen, little excerpts. So you build up buzz as you're going. That also makes sure that you finish, because now you don't open your big mouth and told everybody you finna drop this book, so you better get it done, right? So yeah, of course, you want to start building up buzz in your marketing before you even finish. But yeah, back to you need your copyright. You apply for that online, and you need your ISBN number as well. And yeah, that's just the barcode. And you're going to need that when you put that to get your copyright. So you get your ISBN first, and you have to include any your editor name. You can include who designed your book cover, anybody who wrote in the book as well. You have to give everybody credit for your work and for the book, and make sure, you know, okay, you're welcome, Maggie. I'm sorry, guys, I had to read her question. So yeah, and you want to make sure that everybody is good, everything is good, everything is legal. So now, well, since you brought up marketing, I can get into the ways that I market it. First, like I told you guys, I kind of built Queen of Dynasty off this book. This was like the starting point of it. So I made a Queen of Dynasty Instagram page. As you know, many of you follow me on there now, but it started for my book. I made that Instagram page just to promote my book. So separate from my personal page, it was just all about my book. Like I said, I would post little bits, like little sneak peeks of it. I also started my email list. And how I grew my email list is before I launched the book, so like a week before the book was available, I made a post and I was like, if you would like to be the first to view 3 free chapters of my book, drop your email address below. I collected all those emails and I sent out 3 chapters. And you can actually see those 3 chapters on my website now. They're still on my website, the 3 free chapters. But that was to give people like a little sneak peek. And it's like a synopsis. You can know if, you know, this is going to be a book you want to buy. Like, okay, I like this. Or no, I don't want to buy that. And if somebody is not interested in your book, you know, it's not about money. I want people that actually want to read it. So I did that. So that was building up buzz. That was building up my email list. And then when I launched the book, it's just a lot of posting, you guys. Like, you have to go hard, go hard, go hard. I gave people those free chapters as a sample so they knew that they wanted to buy. I also use influencers, like social media influencers on Instagram. So people that had a big page and large followings, and that was girls. They had a great girl following, because my book is called Girl Talk, and it's just all about girls and what we go through. So people that had that type of following, I sent them my book and asked them to take photos with my book for me, and they did, which I really appreciated. That was another way I marketed my book out there. So using Instagram, Facebook, and getting those photos of really pretty girls holding the book called Girl Talk. So that was another way that I marketed my book. You just have to be very, very creative. I also went to women empowerment events and kind of did like the vendor type thing. So being a vendor at these events, having up a table, I always made good sales from that. And it's crazy because a lot of times people just bought the book because they seen this young girl with a book and they're like, oh my God, you're already an author. That's amazing. I want to buy this book. Then when they flip through it and they be like, girl, this book juicy. Okay. So do in-person events. Don't be scared to get out there and be face to face with people. I just think the actual feel of the book and having it in your hand, and I sign every copy, it's like that personal thing, right? So there's book club events. You can do that. You can start a book club just for your books. It's just so many different marketing techniques you can use. Be very, very creative. There's book festivals. There's just so much you can do with your book. So be very creative about it. You can do promo videos for it. You can put like a little short commercial to go along with your book, like a promo video, whatever it is. You just be very, very creative about it. So I talked about a couple marketing ideas. Right now, what I'm going to do is a few of you guys wrote some questions throughout the week for me to answer. I want to get into you guys' questions before it gets too late. And it's just a few, so I'm just going to answer the questions I have. If you're watching right now and you have any questions, you can type it into the comments and I'll answer as well. So I'm just looking down to answer you guys' questions. So the first one is, how did you go about releasing your book? And would you do a virtual book tour? I explained to you guys how I released my book. I kind of planned it out. I filed for a company, Queen of Dynasty LLC, to publish it, even though I published it myself. And then, yeah, I just set my launch date. I got social media influencers that I sent it to. And like I said, I dropped the free chapters. And then I was building up my email list as well. So that's really how I launched my book. Kiana, who did I use to print my book? At the time I was living in Tallahassee, and I just used the local company. I don't know their name off the top of my head. It's like A&D something, but it's a lot of print companies. Just Google basically print companies in my area. And I went to a few in Tampa, but I had to compare and contrast my pricing, who was going to give me good quality at a low pricing. So my book was about $3 and some cent. I think, yeah, I don't remember, maybe like $3.67 a book, a piece. So that's how much the books cost me a piece. So yeah, I just compared pricing and I went with that, and quality and pricing. So Google print companies near you, go to them, and they should have books out that they have done to give you examples, and they let you choose what type of book you want, what type of binding you want, hardcover, hardback, hardcover or paperback. Do you want a gloss finish, a matte finish? You decide all that with the printing company, and then, you know, they'll give you your quote. They'll give you the price of what you need. But yeah, just find one in your area and visit a couple to just compare and contrast quotes. And the question was, would I do a virtual book tour? I'll be open to it. I don't really understand the process of that though. I would have to research the process, but I'll be open to one. I think that'll be cool. And if you're just asking for yourself, I think that's a great idea to do. That's great for marketing, and that'll, you know, open you up to different people and different brands. So I think I'll be open to that. How much should I budget to release a short book? How much should you budget? Well, what's going to cost you the most money is the books themselves. Now, you do not have to have a paperback or a hardcover, whatever. You don't have to print off your book at all if you don't want to. Your book can literally just be an ebook and be all digital. You can put it on Amazon Kindle, which is an easy process as well. But yeah, you can put it on Amazon Kindle for free. You set your own pricing. Amazon does take a percentage out of each sale, but you don't have to like pay them per month or anything like that. They take a percentage off each sale, and you set your own pricing. So you don't have to print at all. That's a very inexpensive way to go about publishing your first book. Is just doing it as an ebook and putting it on Amazon Kindle, and you can put it on your website as like a PDF. It'll be an ebook. But as far as budget, let me do the math, honey. Maybe I paid between like $400 to $500 for like 100 or 125 copies. I forgot how many I got at first, because it's like a formatting fee that they charge you just to format the your pages and everything and get everything together. And then, like I said, they charge me about $3 and something cent per book. And I think I started off with like 100 or 125 paperbacks. That was my first order, and then I went back for another order. When you go back for your next order, they shouldn't charge you that formatting. But just to give you a ballpark. Then also I had to pay for my photo shoot. That was about $400, between $400 and $500, because you got to factor in your model, her hair, her makeup, the photographer, your props. We shot in a hotel room. I had to pay for the hotel room we shot out. So those type of things. So whether you do a photo shoot or you got to pay your graphic designer to design your cover, you need to factor in that. You need to factor in paying for your copyright and paying for your ISBN. Copyright, I think, was about $125, if I'm not mistaken. Please do not quote me, because I don't remember the exact price, but I think it was about $125. And then you need to purchase your ISBN numbers as well, and those are about $100. So I would say it just depends. You can do an ebook really cheap, because you can design your own book cover and you can put it together yourself and just put it on Kindle. So you can honestly do an ebook, publish an ebook for little to nothing. You'll just have to pay for your copyright and your barcode, which is your ISBN number, right? So less than $500, $300, you can do an ebook. Actual paperback, I would say you at least need to budget yourself to $1,000. But remember, you're not paying that all at once. You shoot your book cover a little early. You can get your ISBN number, and then next month do your copyright, and then the month after that actually pay for your book. So I would say on the low end about $1,000 for budget. Next question: when writing, do you write it or type it and save it on a USB? I type mine in Word document. Everybody is different. Some people like to be old school. They like to write. That works for them. They like to scratch, scribble, like that's the feel. I typed my book in Word document. So that was easy to me. I feel like it's easy just to send a file to editors. Like if I come to an editor with a notebook of everything written down, what if they can't understand my handwriting? Like that was just too much. So I typed it into Word documents. And yes, I think it's smart to save it on a USB. I don't remember if I did. I probably didn't. I probably just had it saved on my computer. But yeah, I think that's smart to have it backed up. And also just save, because you never want your computer or anything to cut off on you and you like done wrote a whole chapter. Like I would type, and as soon as I'm done, like I would just keep pressing save, because I always wanted to make sure that what I wrote was saved. And last question is, what are some important information you would recommend a person to do when self-publishing? I think I gave you guys all the important information already. Just have your marketing plan in place before you release your book, because you want sales when you release. You want to actually make an income, unless you're writing just to write, but you actually want to make money. So have a marketing plan in place. Put yourself on a schedule. Be serious about it. Have your deadline. Just be very organized. It's great. Also, I would suggest getting more than one editor. I personally use 2 editors, and I noticed that both of them had a different editing style, and they edited different things. So I kind of pulled I was the mutual in between. I pulled what I liked from each person and, did my final draft of my book. But I would say get more than one opinion. Don't let people read your book other than your editor. And I am so serious. When I was writing my book, I'll have friends like, oh, let me read it. No. You're going to wait till it's done and I come out with it, because, people their negativity, or maybe it ain't even negativity. Maybe they just have an opinion, and then you start second guessing yourself and doubting yourself. So don't let people read your book. You want to be as true and as authentic as possible, and just it being your words and your voice. So, just be private about it. You can do little things like coming soon, but just don't let people read your book until it's launched. They can wait till the launch, and real friends will support you and purchase your book. That was great too. All my friends actually paid for my book. But yeah, I think those are the important things I have. Have a marketing plan in place. Be very focused. Be on a schedule. Don't spoil it. Don't have everybody reading your book before it's even done. Trust yourself. Be true to yourself. And yeah, just be serious. No, I did not use a company. Luckily for me, I have amazing professionals in my life. So I use editors that I personally already knew. One is on here right now, but I don't know if she's still here. If you are here, Nicole, put in your information down below. But she actually is my aunt, but she's a professional publicist, and she also edit papers. Like all my papers in college, she always edited and I always got A's. So if I got A's on my college paper, I knew that she could edit my book. So I used her. She's a publicist as well. I used her, and then I also did an intern. At the time I was writing my book, I was doing an internship at a law firm, and so I used one of the lawyers at a law firm. So I used the publicist and a lawyer to read through and edit my book. And the lawyer was an English teacher, so she did papers as well. And then the publicist also did papers and edited papers. So yeah, that's who I had edit my book for me. I didn't use a company. Okay, Nicole just put her email address. So if you need an editor for your book, that's Nicole's email address, and you can reach out to her, Miss Nicole Harris at NDB Communications. So do you guys have any more questions for me? I hope that I gave you enough information. I hope it was good information. Also, everybody who's on the live video right now, I will be choosing a lucky winner to have kind of like a free business coaching session with me. And I have decided to make it geared towards a book, like self-publishing and releasing your book. So we can work on marketing strategy, marketing plans, how to set everything up. So after this video, well, no, I can see everybody that joined in actually, because it's not that many people. So I see everybody that joined in, and I'm just going to randomly select. I'm going to probably use a program that randomly can select the name. And if I see your name, I will email you. So just after the live is over, you can go on Messenger and send me your email address, and then I'll select who I will use for my free, well, who will win my free coaching session. Do you guys have any more questions for me or about publishing or anything before we log off for the night? And thank you everybody that tuned in. Thank you guys for your attention. Thank you RoyalTee Magazine for having me tonight and allowing me to do this. Make sure to like their page. And yeah, just thank you, thank you. So I don't see any more questions. Like I said, if you want to be entered to have the coaching session with me, make sure to message me. If you're on my Instagram, DM me your email address, and it's going to be random. And I'll contact you if you're the person that won the random coaching session. Yeah, I think I covered everything too. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and have a good night. Bye.